Today's fantastical tale is the perilous journey of a boy named Kuturo.
Studio Japan, the development house responsible for such classics as The Legend of Dragoon, Ico, and Shadow of the Colossus, remained relatively mum this last generation. With a heavier focus on handheld titles and The Last Guardian taking the better part of a decade to finish, it seemed like we never see a title from the studio on the PS3. However, it seemed like someone lit a fire under someone's butt as the studio turned out 3 solid titles near the tail end of 2013. Knack, Rain, and the game I'll be discussing today, Puppeteer. Puppeteer is a pretty unique game in all regards. It's like if you took The Nightmare Before Christmas, Pixar, and mashed them into a platform about cutting things with a giant pair of scissors. To say the least, it's quite the charmer.
After all, you are a very special boy.
Puppeteer puts you in the shoes of a young boy named Kuturo, who has unfortunately been spirited away by the evil Moonbear King. See, the Moonbear King takes the souls of innocent children and places them into puppets to work as his servants. Kuturo suffers a particularly hapless fate as the Moonbear King bites off the head of his puppet body and tosses him away like yesterday's garbage. Thankfully for Kuturo, a mysterious cat named Yin Yang saves him and provides a temporary head until he can recover his own and return home. If that off-the-wall plot sounds up your alley, then you'll love the rest of the story. You'll be collecting powerful gemstones, meeting other quirky characters, and facing off against enemies that represent the 12 Chinese zodiac animals. For me, the story is one of the biggest strengths of Puppeteer. Not only do you meet a number of fun characters that are well voice acted, but the entire game is presented as if you're watching a stage play, complete with lights, curtains, and even audience reactions.
Hey, I warned you.
It's definitely a unique way to present a story in a game, and I was absolutely enamored with Puppeteer from beginning to end.
Did you forget you sent us off in the first place? Yes, Calabrus chose him.
On the surface, Puppeteer looks like a basic collectathon platformer, but dig deeper and you'll find something a bit more unique. Sure, you'll be jumping around levels, but your main tool for traversing levels and fighting enemies are a pair of magical scissors called Calabrus. Taking down enemies is easy as giving them a few snips, but using Calabrus to cut around the environment is oh so satisfying. Since the levels are supposed to be backdrops to a play, they're mostly made of soft fabrics that you can cut, allowing Kuturo to fly around the levels. You could be cutting webbing in one level and then cutting your way through cherry blossom trees the next. Puppeteer has plenty of clever levels to take advantage of this cool mechanic. There's also a number of other tools you can use to traverse the levels, such as bombs and a deflection shield. The collectathon aspect comes in the form of Kuturo's many heads. As you explore the levels, you'll gain different heads that have unique abilities. Certain hidden areas can only be accessed if you have certain heads, so replayability is highly encouraged for completionists out there. Boss battles are also really fun and unique. Each is very creative and ultimately end in some kind of quick time event. I have to say that, while relatively simple, Puppeteer is a real joy to play. It's a very relaxing game that allows you to take in the gorgeous visuals while also having fun cutting your way through levels. I will say that Puppeteer is a really easy game. It's very generous with extra lives and there aren't too many difficult encounters. The difficulty level is actually okay by me because I don't think that's what the developers were going for. Puppeteer is more of an easygoing experience rather than a challenging one. Sometimes it's nice to have a game you can just sit down and relax with after a long day, and for my money, Puppeteer is just that.
That's it! This Saturday morning cartoon is over!
To call Puppeteer a beautiful game is selling it short. Puppeteer downright oozes charm from every orifice. Each level is simply a visual treat from the details in the background to the colorful lighting. I was always excited to go to each new world to see what cool designs lie in wait. I don't think I need to say much more, I mean, just look at it, it's stunning. One impressive aspect to me was how the levels would change on the fly. You could be at the end of the road and then the stage swirls around and completely changes without a load screen. I don't know why, but that just wowed me every time it happened. The sound is also excellent all around. Music is fun and charming while perfectly suiting each level. Voice acting is a little over the top at times, but considering the vibe Puppeteer is going for, it's all too appropriate.
It's the tyrant! Run for your life!
Give me back my scissors!
I feel like it's been well documented that I'm an unabashed PlayStation fan through and through, and it's largely due in part to Sony greenlighting games like Puppeteer that you can't play anywhere else. From what I understand, Puppeteer didn't sell very well, but I'm so happy Sony made it because it's easily one of my favorite games on the PS3. The game's director Gavin Moore has shared a story about playing games with his son, and how his son wanted to play a game that would change every 5 to 10 minutes, which Puppeteer accomplishes with its constantly changing scenery. To know a game was created with some childlike wonder is pretty special. If you're at all interested in Puppeteer, it's constantly on sale and I'm sure you can find it for a reasonable price. Go out and treat yourself, it's definitely a show worth attending.